Meet Amara, the woman who destroyed what she sought to protect because of her own fears. And now she has to face the wrath of the gods. And what has Amara done to ignite the wrath of the gods? In a small village nestled between rolling hills and the great Niger River, there lived a young woman named Amara and her husband, Obinna. Their marriage was celebrated by all. It was full of laughter and compassion. Obinna was a trader who journeyed to neighboring villages to sell yams and spices. Each trip took him away for weeks. Amara loved Obinna deeply, but was filled with fear that her husband might fall for someone else while on his travels. This fear grew in her heart, keeping her awake at night. Obinna, ever patient, tried to reassure her. "My heart belongs to you alone, Amara," he would say with a gentle smile. "No distance would change that." But his words offered little comfort. On the eve of one of his longest trips, Amara was overwhelmed by fear. She couldn't bear the thought of him being away and surrounded by other women who might steal his affection. Desperation clouded her judgment. "Obinna," Amara said one night, her eyes filled with reserve, "I need you to prove that your heart truly belongs to me." "How can I do that, my love?" Obinna asked, confused. "I want us to make a blood covenant," she declared. "If we share blood, our spirit will be forever tied, and no force can come between us." Obinna frowned, shocked by the suggestion. Blood covenants were serious matters. To break such a bond might invoke the wrath of the gods. Yet, he loved Amara and wished to ease her fears. "Are you sure this is what you want?" he asked softly. "I am certain," Amara insisted. "I want to know that you will be mine forever." Reluctantly, Obinna agreed. That night, under the pale light of a moon, they went to the old Iroko tree at the edge of the river. They each made a small cut on their palms, letting the blood mingle. Amaka whispered the covenant binding words, invoking the spirits of their ancestors. They promised fidelity to one another, a bond that, if broken, will call down misfortune and suffering. As dawn broke, Obinna packed his wares and set off on his journey, his heart heavy with determined to return quickly to his beloved wife. Days passed and Amara's fear began to fade. Yet as the sunlight dragged on, loneliness crept into her soul. The laughter of the villagers seemed distanced. She missed Obinna's warmth, his voice, and his presence. One afternoon, as Amara drew water from the village well, she met a man named Chidi. He was new to the village. He was tall and strong, with his eyes that sparkled mischievously. He offered to carry her water pot back to her hut. "Thank you," Amara said. Her cheek blushes. Chidi visited often after that day. They would talk and laugh until the sky turned crimson. His compliment filled the void left by Obinna's absence. The attention, the feeling of being desired made Amara's heart race. She told herself it was harmless. After all, Obinna would never know. But one evening, as the air turned cold and the bird sang. Amara, restrained, snapped. Chidi's touch on her hands lingered too long. One glance, one whisper, and the floodgate of desire burst open. She spent the night with Chidi, forgetting her covenant, forgetting Obinna, lost in a wind of flirtation. When dawn broke, guilt ground at her chest. The covenant, the blood oath she had forced upon her husband, she had broken it. Panic surged through her veins. She pushed thought away, convincing herself that the gods would not notice. After all, it was just one night. Obinna returned weeks after, his face bright with joy. He embraced Amara, unaware of the darkness that now loomed over their union. Life seemed to return to normal, but Amara's guilt simmered beneath the surface. Days turned into weeks, and strange things began to happen. The crops in their small garden withered, though the neighbors' field thrived. Their chickens stopped laying eggs, and their goats grew sick and thin. At night, the wind whispered in strange languages. Obinna noticed Amara's distance, her restless sleep. "Amara, what troubles you?" he asked. "Nothing," she lied, forcing a smile. "I am just tired." But the gods were not deceived by her words. Days after, Amara fell sick, and Obinna was very worried. He invited the village chief priest to his home, and that was when the truth was revealed. The village chief priest made him understand that his wife met with another woman and had broken the oath that they both took under the old Hiroko tree. And he made Obinna understood that Amara was not going to survive this because the hands of the gods was upon her already, and they were not going to forgive her. Obinna was sad. He was heartbroken.
Amara was sick for a very long time until the day she passed away. She died with the stigma of a woman who betrayed the love that she sought to protect. Months later, the gods smiled at Obinna again. His crop came back alive, his animals grew well and bare children, and Obinna lived his life alone and quiet. And he vowed never to love again, as it was best to be alone than being damaged by someone else. This story was told by elders among younger ones to make them understand the repercussion of blood oaths.